It started late on a Tuesday night. My apartment was silent, except for the faint hum of the refrigerator and the distant noise of traffic outside. I had just set my phone face down on the coffee table when it vibrated once. Then again. I didn't rush to grab it. Something about the timing felt wrong. When I finally picked it up, the sender's name made my stomach tighten before I even opened the message. Judith. My mother. I tapped the screen. The property has been sold. We changed the locks on the repair shop. You're locked out now. I want to see you try to make it on your own. Ha ha. I read it once, then again. The words themselves hurt, but it was the final line that really did the damage. Ha ha. That wasn't anger. That wasn't frustration. That was celebration. They weren't just cutting me out, they were enjoying it. I sat there, phone in my hand, waiting for the familiar wave of panic or grief to hit me. It didn't. Instead, something else settled in. Cold, steady, razor sharp. Clarity. They thought they had won. They thought they had finally excluded me. I smiled. Not because I was happy, because they had no idea what they had just triggered. I placed my phone down gently, as if any sudden movement might disturb the calm forming inside me. I didn't call my mother. I didn't scream or demand explanations. I sat still in the dark, letting the realizations settle. They believed changing the lock solved their problem. They forgot something important. I didn't just work at that garage. I was that garage. I opened my laptop. The screen lit up the room in pale blue light. First stop, the supplier portal for Detroit's primary auto parts distributor. Username, Emily. Account holder, Emily. Payment guarantee, Emily's credit card. I scrolled through the pending orders. There it was, 12 brand new transmissions scheduled for delivery the next morning. I could picture my father proudly telling customers how busy the shop was, how successful business had become. I clicked one button. Cancel. Next, I opened the equipment leasing site. That high-tech diagnostic machine, the one my parents bragged about at dinner parties, was leased entirely under my name. My credit, my liability. Canceled. Then tires, 24 from Goodyear. Canceled. Oil suppliers, tool subscriptions, software access. Canceled, canceled, canceled. By 3 minutes past midnight, barely moments after my mother's smug message, I had frozen the entire operation. By sunrise, the garage would be a shell. No parts, no diagnostics, no equipment. They wouldn't even be able to open a single repair ticket. To understand how I had this kind of control, you need to understand my life. My name is Emily. I'm 29 years old. I'm a mechanic. My family owned a repair garage in Detroit, founded by my grandfather decades ago. But for the past 10 years, it survived for one reason only. Me. My father, Walter, played the role of owner. He loved shaking hands, telling stories, and soaking in praise. He couldn't rebuild an engine to save his life. My mother, Judith, cared about appearances, how the ownership looked to neighbors, friends, and social media. And then there was my sister, Bridget. 24, beautiful, charismatic, the golden child. She never worked a single day in the garage, claimed she was allergic to grease. No, she was allergic to effort. I was the responsible one. That word sounds like praise to outsiders. In our family, it was a life sentence. While Bridget received a fully funded business degree and money for her professional wardrobe, I was sweeping floors at 15. By 19, I rebuilt engines. By 22, I was the lead mechanic, the bookkeeper, the inventory manager, and the supplier contact. I wasn't just keeping the business running, I was keeping it alive. And I didn't just give my time, I gave my money. A lot of it. Exactly $195,000. I know the number because I tracked every dollar. 5 years ago, the bank was about to cancel my father's business credit line, $15,000. I took out a personal loan to cover it. 3 years ago, safety inspectors condemned the hydraulic lifts. My father talked about closing. I stopped him. I emptied my savings, $50,000, to buy new lifts and modern diagnostic equipment. Then came payroll. Over 2 years, I quietly covered $40,000 so my father wouldn't have to admit failure or bounce checks. People always ask why I stayed, why I didn't leave. Because when you grow up where your value equals your usefulness, responsibility becomes a cage. You learn that being dependable is the only way to earn love, or something that looks like it. You're afraid to stop holding everything together, afraid it will collapse and everyone will blame you. So you keep sacrificing, believing this time they'll see you. They never do. Because cruelty, once normalized, feels like entitlement. They didn't think they were stealing from me. They thought it was my job. While I drained my savings for equipment, my sister posted photos from Europe. My mother bragged that the garage paid for it. They weren't villains. They were worse. They were ordinary people who justified selfishness until it felt normal. At exactly 7 a.m., my phone exploded. Voicemail from my father. He wasn't asking, he was shouting. "Emily, what did you do? All our orders are canceled. Fix this now." Then a text from my sister. "You're totally overreacting. Mom was upset. This is embarrassing for me." Of course it was. Then my mother posted publicly. "It's heartbreaking when children forget who provided for them. We gave everything. Now they're trying to ruin the family over a small disagreement." I read every message. Not one apology, not one, "Are you okay?" They weren't sorry. They were furious the money had stopped. That's when I knew. This wasn't an argument. This was a reckoning. I didn't answer a single message. Not my father's angry voicemail, not my sister's irritated texts, not my mother's public performance. I let their panic sit unanswered while I made coffee and watched steam rise from the mug like a quiet warning. Then I made one call. "Paige," I said when she answered, "I need legal help." Paige and I had been roommates in college. We survived finals, bad cafeteria food, and worse boyfriends together. She was brilliant back then. Now she was a partner at one of Detroit's top business law firms. She listened. She didn't interrupt. I told her everything. The decade of unpaid labor, the favoritism, the loans, the exact numbers. $105,000 in personal loans, $50,000 in equipment, $40,000 in payroll, $195,000 total. When I finished, there was a long silence on the line. Then her voice changed. "Emily," she said slowly, "this isn't a family disagreement. This is unjust enrichment, promissory estoppel, and they are exposed." I felt something loosen in my chest. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want what they owe me." "Good," she replied, "because we're going to get it." That afternoon, Paige drafted a formal demand letter. Not an email, not a text. A courier-delivered legal notice placed directly into my parents' hands. They had 30 days. Option 1, a legally binding repayment plan for the full $195,000. Option 2, immediate transfer of 50% ownership in the land sale proceeds. Ignore it, and we would file suit, plus interest, penalties, and legal fees. This was no longer emotional. It was procedural. 2 days later, Paige called again. Her tone was sharp. I looked into the land sale. My stomach tightened. "The buyer is an LLC," she continued, "owned by Samuel Thorne." The name hit like ice water. I knew that name. Samuel Thorne was my sister's future father-in-law. They hadn't sold the land to a stranger. They sold it to family. It wasn't a sale. It was a deal. My labor, my money, my life, all traded to secure my sister's marriage. Paige wasn't done. "There's more," she said. She explained the business loan, the one that started everything, the one I had helped cover 5 years earlier. I pulled the original bank documents, she said quietly. I held my breath. Emily, she said quietly, your father didn't ask for help because the loan was failing. What? I whispered. He couldn't default because there was a personal guarantor. My heart slammed. Who? I asked, already knowing. You, she said. Or rather, your forged signature. I couldn't breathe. He signed your name, she continued. If that loan defaulted, the bank would have taken your apartment, your savings, everything. The pieces snapped into place. That's why he came to me. Not for help, to cover his crime. The ha-ha text suddenly made sense. They locked me out because the land was sold, and they thought they no longer needed me. The witness, the shield, the cover. Family loyalty died in that moment. Paige didn't waste time. Within days, we filed a fraud lawsuit, forgery, financial abuse, unjust enrichment. The effect was immediate. Samuel Thorne pulled out of the land deal the moment his lawyers caught wind of the criminal allegations. He wasn't going to tie his family name to a fraud investigation. The engagement collapsed. My sister's wedding plans evaporated overnight. Then the calls started again. Different now. Desperate. I ignored them all until Tuesday night. Someone pounded on my door. I checked the peephole. My mother. She looked nothing like the woman who sent that ha-ha text. Her hair was unkempt, her makeup smeared, her hands shaking. I opened the door. Emily, she sobbed. Please, you have to stop this. She rushed her words, terrified. Thorne is backing out. Bridget's future is ruined. She's your sister. I remembered Bridget's message. This is embarrassing for me. This was never about money, I said calmly. She nodded frantically. What do you want? We'll pay. Just help your sister. That line. Do it for the family. I stepped inside, retrieved a folded document, and handed it to her. She unfolded it with shaking hands. What is this? She asked. The settlement, I replied. Hope flickered in her eyes. And this is a copy of the criminal complaint I filed today. Her face went white. I sent it to the district attorney and to Mr. Thorne. The hope died instantly. Goodbye, Mom. I closed the door. That was the end. Faced with undeniable evidence, my father's resistance collapsed. The criminal case moved forward. The civil lawsuit never went to trial. Their lawyers pushed for settlement the moment they saw the forged documents. The terms were brutal. The garage land was sold at public auction. Creditors were paid. What remained was split. My father received 3 years of probation. I received a wire transfer. $400,000. I opened my old spreadsheet. $195,000, the number that once defined my worth. I deleted the file. 6 months later, I bought a run-down garage across Detroit. I cleaned it, painted it, outfitted it with the best equipment. E-Tech Auto opened on a Monday morning. Bright, clean, mine. We were booked 3 weeks out. That afternoon, under a classic Mustang, my new apprentice asked me nervously, Emily, am I ready? I saw myself in her. I placed a clean torque wrench in her hand. You're ready, I said. Let me show you. I am free. I am not the responsible daughter. I am a builder, and this is my legacy. Have you ever chosen yourself over family and had to burn everything down to do it? Tell me your story in the comments.